I think it's great that she allowed that experience of putting the chair together to bring up things. And we can do that in our lives. We can take advantage of any opportunity to grow, from taking a class where we might expect growing to happen, to putting together an office chair where we might not expect something to happen.
Yeah, I love that. Amy, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so it's interesting because my little guy inherited my old desk. He definitely was ready for a desk in his room. So he got the desk and the chair. And over the weekend, he was like, Mom, this chair sucks. And I was like, that's why I got a new one. So I'm putting it together, and recently, like within the last week, I decided that I was no longer going to be stigmatized by my disability, because I had a doctor's appointment last week where I asked my doctor. So at work, they're asking people to start to come back to the office. And I was feeling really hesitant about that. And a lot of fear was coming up about, you're just being dramatic, you're being difficult, you just want special treatment. And trying to process those thoughts and think about, like the fear and what was coming up and how to, use my proactive behaviors. So I talked to my doctor about it. I said, they're asking people to come back to the office. I feel hesitant, but I decided that I was going to ask you for a recommendation. And if you felt like there was an increased risk, then I'm just going to suck it up and go back. And if you do, then, I'm going to apply for a reasonable accommodation. And he said, well, we know that you can get COVID more than once, which I've had it once. And we know that you can get COVID after being vaccinated. And we know that the vaccinations are less effective in immune compromised patients. So I definitely don't think it's in your best interest to return to the office at this time. And in processing that and all the thoughts around it, I realized I was never being difficult. It was just fear. And it's coming from me feeling like having a disability is, I don't want to say not real, like it's definitely real, but I think it's just expectations on myself. I'm still trying to process it, but it's like, I can't let it hold me back. So, I was thinking about, I'm just going to do a better job asking for support, asking for help, recognizing my limitations. And then comes the chair, and like, I'm definitely struggling with the like Allen wrench, and I don't have very good like fine motor skills because of the arthritis in my hands, and it's painful and it's challenging, and I'm oscillating between I should wait and ask someone to help me with this, and you don't need help, you've totally got this, and it's like, where is the line? And so all of that sort of coming up for me right now.
Wow. Yeah, where is the line? I like that question. And there was so much in what you shared with us that that I think is really powerful. And I love that Foxy was jumping in to talk about, just what you said. You're like, I thought I was putting this chair together, and now I'm going through all this mental stuff right now and thinking through how we were processing and making decisions. So there's a lot to unpack there, which I love, and we can continue the conversation. We are at the top of the hour. So we're gonna pause here. And I'm gonna actually open this up because we do only have 2 minutes. Suze, did you have a thought about the conversation from the last mastermind that you wanted to discuss?
Yes.
Yeah, what's up?
Yes. So I have heard just in the last probably 2.5 years, I have a dream client that she instead of disabled, she says uniquely abled. And so that is something that instead of the dis, because even with saying disability, what you're doing is you're accepting that negativity. You're accepting that dis on you. You know, like I remember this just came to mind when like people would say something snarky or somewhat mean or sarcastic, and you'd be like, ooh, dis, like,
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
but it's something that's negative against you. And so saying uniquely abled, that I am abled, it's unique, you know, it's or differently abled, or, you know, fill in the blank. But the disability is accepting the negativity, and then so then it does feel yucky, you know, and it does feel like where you could say, oh, I'm just using this, or I'm just, you know, like, yeah, just burned. Yeah, totally, if you wanted to sound cool. So so that's something that you can say, you know, in my unique abilities, it's better for me to work from home because, and then have like the doctor's information and have that and say, you know, because my unique abilities, because of my unique circumstances. I mean, that's what I went through after the stroke and healing from the stroke, is that I wanted to be able to do it all. And the fact is, I was unique. I could do other things that other people couldn't do, you know? And so really just knowing yourself and knowing that you are uniquely abled. And so then you can step out in that and thrive in that.
Yeah, love that. We know words are powerful, and that we don't realize how much they're playing a subconscious level role in like what we actually are capable of. So opening that possibility right up with that. Thank you for sharing that, Suze.
Yeah.
We are at 10 after, so we will go dark and see you back at 10 to the hour. Have fun, be productive.